Good morning. Whew, I'm sweaty. Big news. The time is now to make the announcement. Been thinking about doing it for a while, just waiting for that right time. When it felt right to me, today feels right. For those of you who are not aware, I've been off trail, fighting off Lyme, getting extremely strong again, at least 95% I would guess, from what I feel. I just got back from a 5K, did 3 5Ks yesterday, not competitive 5Ks, just jogging 5Ks to keep the body moving and to do something that I'm not used to doing. I don't normally do 5Ks. I do a lot of hiking. 5Ks gets a whole other part, but more importantly, it keeps my cardio strong and gets it back to strength. Obviously, that was probably the thing that suffered the most, besides the joint pain from the fevers and everything, was just the fact that my cardio was off in the breathing and, fast heartbeat and everything. Legs are still extremely strong. I just wanted to get that cardio, back to strength as I'm healing up in this latter part before I hit back to trail. But going back to trail in no time, you'll start seeing the videos of the daily videos as I finish up to 550 miles of the AT through hike this year. Woo! Put it in the bag. So to make my big announcement, before I make that big announcement, which I think is pretty darn epic if I say so myself, let me give you a little background. First of all, this is something I've been thinking about for a couple months on the AT. It hit me this year on the through hike. Obviously, there's all kinds of time to think and to analyze and just figure out next steps and so forth. So I put a lot of thought into it, but I was having trouble figuring out how I was going to do it because it's not an easy task, not at all. It's a trek, and not an easy trek that I'm looking to take on that I'm going to tell you about here in a few minutes. But I finally figured it out after, a month and a half of pretty much all day long, every day thinking about it. Figured out how I'm going to do it. So that's awesome. First off, to give you a little background, I'm doing the AT this year. I did the AT last year, but I had to get off in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, and because of prior obligations, was not able to go back on after my body healed up from a sprained ankle. It didn't give me enough time to finish out. Obviously, that's not the case this year. I'm down with Lyme, but I'm going straight back as soon as I'm 100% or close to 100% and ready to take on those 20 to 30 mile days again, finishing up this year. The other thing is I have a few hundred miles left on the PCT from 2 years ago that I need to finish. The plan is to do that this year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to because there's a really late snow year in Washington, which that's where 300 of the miles I have to do is right at the northern terminus. There's already fires breaking out, so I'm going to have to keep my eye on all that to see, what's going on, to see if that's something I can finish this year or if I have to tack that on next year. Next year, the plan is to do the CDT and to finish my Triple Crown of the 3 bigs here in the U.S. So that's the plan. That's always been the plan. This is something completely different, and I will preface by saying that this particular thing, I do not know exactly when I'm going to do it yet. I have no idea, so there's no point in me saying the different options because there's a lot of different options. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I got to put more thought into that. But to kind of give you a few ideas here of some acronyms and wording, vernacular, so to speak, of through hiking, you have what's called a NOBO, which is someone who's going northbound on their through hike. You have something called a SOBO, which is somebody going southbound on a through hike. And then you have what's called a yo-yo. Actually, before I get to yo-yo, there's a flip-flop. Flip-flop is where you're starting like in the middle somewhere and you're flipping one direction or going one direction, then possibly flipping back and going south. Like you might be going north and then flip back going south, or you go south and then come back north from the bottom side. There's a lot of different ways to do a flip-flop. A lot of times people do that because they have to start at an odd time of year, or they want to end up at a certain place because maybe that's where their home is or wherever their rides are going to be or whatnot. There's a lot of different reasons for that. And then you have something called a yo-yo. A yo-yo is where you do the whole through hike. As soon as you get done with the through hike, you turn around and you go back the same way you came. So you're doubling up basically on your through hike. So a 2,200 mile through hike of the AT would become 4,400 miles. So my idea, I don't know if anyone's ever done it. From my research, it looks like maybe some people have attempted it and not succeeded. I don't know if anyone's ever succeeded. There was a couple people that I talked to this year, some like to call them old timers that's been around the AT for, decades, and kind of let the cat out of the bag with a couple of them. And they said they've never heard of anybody doing this and that it would be a pretty big deal. I don't do things for people. So know that right now. This is not something I would be doing to, make people happy, to make people impressed, to make people follow me. And, I want people to follow me, obviously, because my whole goal in life is to motivate and inspire as many people as I can to just live life and get out there and push through the barriers and climb those mountains. Get on top of those mountains, whether they're metaphoric mountains or real mountains, symbolic mountains or real mountains. Live life, whatever that may mean to you. That is the whole thing that I'm here for. A mountain prophet? Maybe. I don't know. I just want people to live life and to push through the barriers, push through all the things that hinder you. This tattoo here is one of my mottos. Life isn't just about living, but it's about dying to the things that stop you from living life to its full potential. The things that hinder you, the things that stop you, squash them. Get them underneath your feet. Those are the mountains in our lives that we have to overcome. That's why I yell from the top of every mountain, it's in the bag, because once I conquer that, it's done. It's been conquered. It's time to move on to the next one. So, for the big announcement, something that I don't know if anyone's ever done. If they have, it's very few. So I might be the first person to ever attempt this, and I might not be. All I know is I'm attempting it. I just don't know when. And that is a triple through hike of the AT in one calendar year. So that could mean north to south, south to north, north to south, and then south to north one more time, all within 12 months. I don't know if calendar year is the right way to say that, because it's not going to be January to January because of the way I'm going to do it. It's actually going to be within a 12-month period consecutive, but it's going to be more like a summer to a summer. So I don't know when I'm going to do it yet, and I will give more details on how I'm going to tackle it, because it's not easy, and there's one really good way. One really good way that when I thought of it made boom, fireworks go off, light bulb went off, like, wow, how did I not think of this? This is the way to get it done. Because obviously the problem is Katahdin, Mount Washington, the northern states, and the horrible winters that they can get up there, how you get to those areas 3 times within 1 year with having to deal with all the snow, and I figured it out. I will tell you that when I announce when I'm going to do it. But for right now, I just wanted to let that cat out of the bag. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody you know to follow this channel, because there will be updates coming on when that happens. First, I'm going to go back out and finish the AT this year, but there's a lot of different reasons for it. Let's say the theme of today is 3. This will be my 3rd time on the AT, and on that 3rd time, it will be my 3rd, 4th, and 5th time on the AT. So I'm really looking forward to it. 3rd time's a charm, they say. There's a lot of things lately in my life that is now the 3rd time. I'll let you in on those and here in a little bit as well. But for now, I just wanted to make that announcement. 3 times of the AT in 1 calendar year. Follow along for the updates. Let's get this thing moving. Let's get as many people inspired and motivated as possible. Once again, I'll be doing it to raise awareness for osteoporosis when that time is there, because I suffer. I don't want to say suffer. I live with that every day, and I keep pushing through it, and I want to inspire those that have osteoporosis, those who may get osteoporosis, those who have family with osteoporosis, those who have family and friends with other illnesses, other things, tragedies, problems in life that stop you from living life, to push through. Find a way to push through and live life. I hope that I can keep on inspiring and motivating everybody out there. Help me grow this channel. Help me grow the people that's following and paying attention. I'm sorry that I don't have a shirt on. I just realized I don't have a shirt on. I was jogging and I'm pouring sweat and it's 90 degrees. So I just sat down and recorded as soon as I got back in here. I'm looking forward to this track and all the other journeys and adventures in the future, including the AT here in just a few days, being back on trail. Live life.